What's up? Happy Monday, still fun day. Welcome on in to Let's Bet It. I don't know if you can hear me because the screen is 1000% black right now. Well, now it's not. Hi guys, how are you? Hey Zeno, Lauren Javara.
It was a dramatic entrance for you, LJ. Dramatic entrance as always. I mean, it's
seriously,
just, you know, that's what
hashtag
you
drama queen.
Exactly. Ice queen, drama queen, you know, hey. It all works.
We're making it happen today. Zeno, how was your weekend? What were you up to? How'd the bets go? We had the day off yesterday. Now we're back at it today. We got some NHL to talk about, but how was your weekend?
We did. Saturday down, Sunday up. So we did very well. We put Kyle right in the temporary graveyard after his performance on Saturday against the Cubs and another NRFI down the drain. Thank you very much, Kyle. But nonetheless, it was a about a little bit above 500. So it kind of broke even, which is, you know, ties are like kissing your sister, but hey, you know, there are worse things that could happen.
We had the U.S. Open finish up yesterday.
Yeah.
Matt Fitzpatrick, the winner of that one. And then we also had Zalatoris. He's fun to watch. Yep. I really like watching Zalatoris, but Matt Fitzpatrick takes home $3.15 million.
Yeah.
For the U.S.
By the
Open.
way,
good for him.
Yeah. If you like watching Will Zalatoris, I mean, you must love, like, you know, sad movies and depressing things. I mean, watching him lose on Sunday of majors is getting a little bit annoying. I've seen this script before. Happy Gilmore's caddy can't seem to get over the hump here on Sunday of a major tournament. It's got to be gut-wrenching for that young man. But we have to give a little nod.
He's going to get there eventually. He'll get there eventually.
You think they always say that. I don't necessarily know that I believe that. But we have to give a nod to our great friend and golf handicapper, Diane Knox-Ballas, who now for the second time in 3 majors has hit an outright winner. Good
for her. That's seriously that's unreal. Insane. So she bet on Matt Fitzpatrick. I think she got him at like 30 to 1 odds or 35 to 1 odds.
33,
insane. She won the outright. So yeah.
She said Matt Fitzpatrick has been playing some of the best golf of his entire career.
I'm actually going to Ireland on Saturday.
Are you?
Friday I fly to Ireland. Yeah, for a week.
Good for you.
So thank you. This is my last week on the show.
Make a right turn and head to Italy. The food's better.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Irish experience. Is that good?
There you go. You did well.
Thank you. We got a lot to talk about today, Zeno, because we got Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche. It's back in Tampa at Amalie Arena. It's going to be exciting to see how this plays out. And we have some very interesting things to break down, little discrepancies that we're seeing amongst a variety of sports books. So, but before we do that, let's get into our Better Up segment, our MLB segment with Better Up. And then also, guys, make sure if you have any questions about anything betting-wise, check it out. Comment, like, subscribe, comment in the comment section because we're going to be answering a lot of questions towards the end of the show today. So make sure to do that. But Better Up segment, let's get into it. YRFIs and NRFIs. I know you said you're going to get a little juicy today, Zeno, because you don't want to lose a NRFI. Tell me, what are you on today?
I have to, and I did this yesterday. I just basically ignored the juice and just looked at what I could get right because I hit a little bit of a cold streak on my NRFIs, and I have promptly put the NRFI King crown down for a little bit here until we can put it back atop our dome. But yesterday, I did the same thing with the Mets and the Marlins. The Mets at home, they're a team that just does not allow the opponent to score in the first inning. Best in Major League Baseball by a large margin. Only 9% of the times does their opponent score. But they were facing Sandy Alcantara, and the Mets are a team that does score a lot in the first inning. So I took just the best pitching matchup of Alcantara against the Mets and the Mets against a Marlins team that doesn't score very much. And I'm using sort of the same philosophy here today with the Yankees and the Rays. You have Garrett Cole and Shane McClanahan going. Even though the Yankees are a team that scores a decent amount in the first inning, they're facing a Shane McClanahan who's incredibly, insanely good, lights out kind of good. And you have Garrett Cole going in a ballpark where runs are typically hard to come by at Tropicana Field. So it's juicy. It's way juicy at minus 160, but we're going to run with it today because, well, we need a winner.
I like that. And I'm actually kind of not tailing you on this, but I do have a Garrett Cole strikeout prop that I'm on today, over 7.5 strikeouts. And that's also a little juicy at minus 145. I got that on DraftKings. FanDuel's total is actually up to over 8.5 strikeouts at plus money, I think it's at right now. But I have the over 7.5 on DraftKings. He's faced Tampa twice already this season. He struck out 17 guys over 12 innings pitched, and he passed the total in one of his last 2 games. He missed it by 1 strikeout in the other one, but he's been pitching really, really well, and he's gone over the total in 3 of his last 6 starts and 6 total starts on the season. You also look at the Tampa Bay Rays. They're a high strikeout team against righties, especially over the last couple of weeks. They have a K rate of 26% over the last 2 weeks, and that ranks 4th worst in baseball over that time frame. So I like the Garrett Cole over 7.5 strikeouts, laying 45 cents to do so, and that kind of backs your NRFI a little bit. No run first inning, and give me 3 strikeouts. 1, 2, 3. Punch them out, boys. I love it. What else are you on today? You're also on an over strikeout prop.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the Lance Lynn of the Chicago White Sox, making his second start, just his second start this year as he got a late start coming off the IL. He got banged around a little bit in his first start, but he only pitched 4 innings, and so he was there still in that process of ramping him up here. Toronto comes off the win yesterday at home against the Yankees, but they also struck out 11 times in that game. Toronto strikes out more on the road than they do at home as they are in Chicago tonight. So Lynn at 4.5 is the over under, but he's plus money, plus 102 to the over. He's going to go a little bit deeper in this game as long as he doesn't get banged around. He'll be able to get deeper in this game. And Lance Lynn is a pitcher who throughout his career averages better than 1 strikeout an inning. We've only got a small sample size for this year, but let's just look at the historical data that we have on Lynn making his second start this year. So we'll back him to go over 4.5. If he gets into the 5th, I feel pretty good about where we're going.
Yeah, I like it. I'm also on another over strikeout prop too. Here in Atlanta, after a week on the road for the Atlanta Braves, they are back at Truist Park for 7 straight games. They have a 4-game series against the Giants starting today. Max Fried is on the mound. I like his over 5.5 strikeouts. Laying 34 cents. I got it at minus 134. It's a good matchup for him, I think, against the Giants. So you look at the Giants right now. Yeah, they're having a good season, but they currently have a strikeout rate of 26.5% against lefties over the last 2 weeks. It's the 4th worst in baseball over that time. They also have not the best WRC plus of 93. They have a walk rate of 7.7% over the same time frame. And Max Fried has been pitching really well. He's gone over the total in his last 2 starts. He's gone over the total 5.5 in 7 total starts this season. I like the over. They're going to be back at home. They want to get some good stuff going. And they went 21-8 over a stretch of 29 games against teams with a losing record. Now they're going up against the Giants. I know I had to do that in my head really quick. Now they're going up against the Giants team. I think this is going to be a really, really good challenge for them. And Max Fried is going to want to start this series off strong, get it going, kind of carry that momentum that the Braves had yesterday against the Chicago Cubs. So Max Fried over 5.5 strikeouts, laying 34 cents back here at Truist. You're also on a money line bet tonight. The St. Louis Cardinals.
Yes, I am backing the mustache. Spencer Strider, mustache, winner. Miles Mikolas, mustache, going to get a winner tonight. Get a very good price at plus 150 as St. Louis is in Milwaukee taking on the Brewers. You get two really good starters tonight, Mikolas and Corbin Burns of the Milwaukee Brewers here. And it's telling to me that this is so plus money for St. Louis. I think they're in a great spot right here. St. Louis, one of the better run line teams in Major League Baseball this year, covering the number at 60%, whereas Milwaukee doesn't cover the run line. They're only about 42%. That's bottom 5 in Major League Baseball here. So I know I'm on the St. Louis money line here, thinking they can get a win, but still, I look at those run lines as a barometer of how much this team can actually win by 2 runs. If they can keep it close, I like St. Louis. Plus, no Josh Hader. He's on paternity leave. So at the back end of the game here, you may have some question marks about Milwaukee being able to close this thing out.
We actually do have a question in the chat, too, about the Cardinals-Brewers NRFI, no-run first inning at -115. So it's not too juicy. How would you feel about that leading the NRFI for the Cardinals-Brewers game today?
It was one that I had, and then I crossed it off. It was -137. Well, because if you look at St. Louis, you look at St. Louis and you look at Milwaukee, and they are two teams that score in the first inning a lot. They're both top 10 in first inning run scored percentage this year. St. Louis is 9, Milwaukee is 10. And then you look at sort of the splits. It was one of those things where St. Louis on the road, it doesn't score as much, and Milwaukee at home scores even more. So I just didn't like the matchup the way it went. I know I got 2 high-level starters, which is always kind of where I go and where I look to. So the starters sometimes trump the juice, if that makes sense. If I get 2 of the right starters in a game, I'm willing to roll the dice on it. And I think you do get that here. But Milwaukee is a team at home that only allows the opponents to score 14% of the time. And I don't know. I just, with my better play being St. Louis, I didn't sort of want to crossfire on myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. That totally makes sense. Okay, well, chat question answered for you. So we have a couple strikeout props, a NRFI, and a St. Louis money line heading into today's slate of MLB games. Speaking of the slate, or sheet of ice, in Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay, we have a big game going on tonight. I don't know if you guys have heard, but it is Game 3 of the NHL Stanley Cup Final between the Colorado Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, the Avs are up 2-0 in the series, and the Lightning are the 6th team in NHL history to go down 2-0 in the conference finals, semis, as well as the Stanley Cup finals. And none of the previous 5 teams has come back to win the cup. But the Lightning were down last round, 2-0 to the Rangers. They won 4 straight and won in that series 4-2 in Game 6. Now, I just look at this series, Zeno, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about the discrepancies that we've seen in the sports books and how we're kind of approaching our betting heading into this game. Colorado has been the most dominant team that I have seen. Like, they have upped their level to the next level, and they're going up against the reigning 2-time Stanley Cup champions. They have won 7 games now in a row in the playoffs, and that sets a franchise playoff record. Cale Makar scored a power play goal. He scored a shorthanded goal, and it's just crazy that the last 6 shutouts in the final, the team went on to win the Stanley Cup. Darcy Kemper, granted, only saw 16 shots on goal. It's not like he was challenged that much. Vasilevsky was kind of, I know he allowed 11 goals, 6 in the first period of each of the 2 games combined, but the Lightning have kind of left him out to dry a little bit. Like, he's been in the right spots a lot of the times, and the Lightning defense just let him down. Maybe it's the Avs being too fast. But when we look at the sports books and how they're kind of capping these games heading into, or the odds of this game heading into tonight, we see a little bit of discrepancies. Some sports books, the Avs are the favorite. In others, they're the underdog. How do you feel about that?
Confused. It's fishy. I mean, it's there shouldn't be this much discrepancy. Now, when I looked last night, you had it split about 50-50. About 4 books had the Avs as a dog, and 3 or 4 books had the Avs as a favorite. This morning, it's much heavier to the Avalanche being a dog and Avalanche being a favorite and the Lightning being the dog, which makes more sense, right? I mean, Colorado, there's not anything objectively that should tell you that Colorado should be an underdog in game 3. They should be the favorite.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay should be the underdog. So it is a little bit perplexing, but either way, and this is across the board, whoever is the favorite in this series, or in this game rather, the underdog at +1.5, you are paying out the wazoo for it. I mean, -275, you're basically laying $3 to win one. It's not a successful formula at all. I mean, again, you could be on the right side. It's just not, anything I want to openly endorse. Yeah, go ahead, lay $3 to only win one. It's bad math, and it doesn't work in your favor. That said, the leans here for me are on Tampa Bay, and they are on the under, and I think they're correlating bets. I don't see a scenario where Tampa Bay wins a 5-4 game. They have not shown to this point that they can score with any regularity. And you talked about, Vasilevsky being hung out to dry. Colorado's whole offensive philosophy through 2 games is just pepper the hell out of Vasilevsky. Throw the shots on net. Don't look for the extra pass. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Throw it on net, hope for deflection, hope for a rebound, and they've been really successful at doing it, 11 times, in fact, and it's all worked out in their favor. Yet Tampa Bay is trying to play from their own net forward, and they just have not been able to generate any offense. I think, we talked about it before the show, and you just mentioned it, how much time that Colorado spent in the offensive zone in this game 2 alone, but in this series, they've had all the offensive aggression. So I'm really unsure about sort of an outcome, and I'm probably going to pass on it. I do like the under because I feel like Tampa Bay is the more desperate team, and the formula for them to even win this game has to be that it stays under. But even if it stays under and they keep it close, they could still lose it. But I just think that Vasilevsky at home will feel a little bit more comfortable, and you'll get a higher level of defense overall than what you've got through the first 2 games for the Lightning.
Yeah, and I'm actually backing you on the under. I know I bet the under in the first 2 games. The over is hit. The over is 2-0.
But you got to go back to it here objectively. You can't let that influence you.
Totally. Tampa Bay hasn't generated anything offensively, like literally nothing. And the Avs have been dominating the Lightning at this point. It's highly unlikely that the Avs can hit the over by themselves again in another game. And that is the first time ever that Andrei Vasilevsky has allowed 7 goals in a single game. Tampa Bay has a 2.14 goals against average over their last 34 home playoff games. So I'm leaning towards the numbers, and I'm leaning towards the trends here. If the Avs shut down the Lightning's attack like they have, we can see the first series under. The Avs are hungry on the defensive side of things. They're winning battles. They're making it difficult for the Lightning to generate anything. They only had 16 shots on goal last game. It's wild. At one point of the game, the Avs had more goals. I think it was like 3-0. Then the Lightning even had shots on goal.
Yeah.
But the Lightning's dynasty at this point is on the line. They need to slow down the Avs on the offensive side if they want to win this game. And like I was just saying, they let Andrei Vasilevsky out to dry. So I don't think they're going to do that again. And even Kucherov said that after the game. He's like, this loss is not on Andrei Vasilevsky. It's on us as a team. We left him out to dry. He's been there for us so many times this season, and today we weren't there for them. So I think that they're going to come back hungrier on the defensive side. And you look at Vasilevsky's numbers at home. He has a 1.69 goals against average, .947 save percentage at home this postseason. Those are good numbers. I think he's going to rebound after a horrible game. And the Avs have shown that they can shut down the Lightning already. I think we're looking at more of like a 3-1, 4-1 game with an empty netter at the end. And the under is going to hit in this one, especially with Tampa Bay being at home in front of a home crowd back at Amalie Arena. They don't want to just lay down and die. But at the same time, I also think the Avs are going to win this game. And that's why I'm betting the Avs money line at -110. At this point, most of the sports books have this game as a pick-em. Lightning and Avs money line is at -110. But the Avs played the most perfect hockey game I think I've ever seen them play on Saturday, where they won 7-0. They didn't even let the Lightning touch the puck. The Tampa Bay Lightning only had 16 shots on goal the entire game. They finished with their worst expected goals for of the season, 1.09. They only had 29 total shot attempts, and only 16 of them Darcy Kemper had to save. Now, Game 7 against the Lightning, or against the Rangers, the Lightning had 38 scoring chances. In 2 total games against the Avs, they only have 35 combined total scoring chances. That is wild what the Avalanche have been able to do and shut them down defensively. And they just can't keep up with the Avs' quick transition game. The Lightning only had ozone possession 28% of the time. I mean, they barely saw the offensive zone. Most of the game was being played in their defensive zone, and the Avs are taking advantage of it. And when you have guys like Darren Helm, JT Comfort, Valeri Nichushkin, Josh Manson stepping up offensively for the Avs, I mean, you can't stop the Avalanche depth. Like, yeah, I know Cale Makar had a phenomenal game. Nico Rantanen had a goal too. But when you have these guys in the bottom six that are scoring the goals to put you ahead and to really like power your team, how are you going to stop that? There's just too much skill on the Colorado blue line too. They're creating so many odd man rushes. And Andre Vasilevsky, yeah, I think he's going to bounce back. But just with the Avs speed, forecheck, their skill on the blue line, they're impossible to shut down right now. And I really think that they're going to go up 3 on the series. I think this series, I know I bet on a 7-game series for my series bets, but I really do think this is going to be a gentleman's sweep. I think that the Lightning are going to steal 1 at home, and the Avs are going to go back home, play game 5, win the Stanley Cup in 5 games. That's how I feel about it at this point. And to bet that, the Avs to win the series at 4-1, it's plus 225. You could get that right now. So it's still at plus money value. How do you feel about that, Zeno? The Avs winning the series in a gentleman's sweep at plus 225.
Yeah, I mean, here's where I'm conflicted on, the series as a whole here. When I see these odds and the numbers and they're flip-flopped and the lines are all fishy, I look objectively at what I've seen in 2 games so far, and Tampa Bay has played better in 1 period alone out of the 6 periods they played in overtime, and that was period 2 in game 1 where they outscored them 2-0. Other than that, the other 5 periods 100% belong to Colorado on both ends of the ice, and so I have to rely on that is what I saw. And you and I were talking before the show, and I said kind of go back to what you saw between in the NBA in the Eastern Conference Finals between Boston and Miami. Miami had only played better in 1 quarter of the 8 that they had played through 2 games, and they were heading into game 3 as a favorite because of them, being a better team, and that was just not right. And so I rely on the fact that I've seen Colorado be better, much better, through 2 games. The big difference here between the example I just used and what we're looking at in the NHL in the Stanley Cup Finals that Tampa Bay's won 2 consecutive cups, and this moment doesn't scare them. It doesn't bother them. And then you have to factor that in. That's not something that's just a narrative. It is the experience matters and the ability to overcome this. Tampa Bay has been down 0-2 in the postseason before in the last 2 years and managed to come back and win. So do I want to step in front of a 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion? It's not exactly like betting against Tom Brady in the playoffs, but it kind of feels that way to bet against Tampa Bay at this point. So, yeah, I know you don't like that scenario. I mean, look, Brady has lost in the playoffs too, but it's just not something that I really am comfortable doing. I lean on the Avs from my eye standpoint. Like I said, I'm staying off the side altogether. There's just too much crossfire for my comfortability level. But I will say it's still possible for Colorado to win an under game and Tampa Bay to win an under game. It's only possible for Colorado to win an over game. If Tampa Bay comes out and wins this game 6-4, the next time I am on, let's bet it on Pickswise, I'll write on my forehead I'm a loser. I don't know what to tell you. That's not a scenario that plays out well for me.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going basically from the eye test and the fact that the Lightning cannot get anything going offensively. I don't know if the home crowd is going to will a little bit more momentum on their side. I don't think that they're just going to keel over and give up, but I also don't think they're as talented of a team as the Colorado Avalanche are. They're not as fast of a team as the Colorado Avalanche are. And the Lightning have already shut down 2 extremely fast teams this postseason. Doing that 3 times against, in my opinion, the best hockey team in the world right now is impossible to do. And we've seen that. We've seen that they've really struggled slowing them down. And the reason is because the Avalanche blue line, Cale Makars of the world, the Devon Taves of the world, these are the guys that are creating these offensive possessions and they're using their skill and speed in their forecheck. And it's just phenomenal what they've been able to do and how they've been able to move the puck. That they had 72% of the offensive possession last game. 72%. It's just crazy. So, I mean, another thing I'm betting in this game, and this is more of a heart bet a little bit, but it is Cale Makar anytime goal, and I got that at plus 245. I was looking at Cale Makar over a half a point, that is juiced to the high heavens at like minus 270, because obviously he's going to get a point in this game. He's played in 16 postseason games this postseason so far, 7 goals, 17 assists, 24 points in 16 games in this postseason. So obviously it's juiced to the high heavens because he's averaging like a point and a half per game this postseason. But he scored 2 goals last game, 1 on the power play, 1 shorthanded, given his dad, Gary McCarr, great early Father's Day present on Saturday. But I feel like it's just the way that the Avs have been taking away Vasilevsky's eyes, the way that they're creating, the way that they're moving the puck. Cale Makar is going to get some open opportunities from the point. I think he's going to get one of his sick wristers, or he's going to create just an unreal rush all the way from the Avs defensive zone to the offensive zone. And he's just he can just single-handedly tear apart a team. So Cale Makar, anytime goal, plus 245. I like that. I'm also on one more bet, but I'm saving it for my best bet of the day. So we'll see how I feel about that. Thoughts on Stamkos, anytime goal at plus 150. We got a thing from the chat right now. How do you feel about that? Steven Stamkos, anytime goal at plus 150.
I mean, there are 3 players that if the Avalanche are going to score 3 goals, it's going to come from, one of 3 players. Stamkos being one, Kucherov being the other, and Palat being the third. If it's not one of those 3 who are scoring, there's something just feelings generically wrong with Tampa Bay's offense at this point. Like, those are the creators, those are the facilitators, those are the best goal scorers on this Lightning team, and those are the ones who have to be able to do it. I mean, I'd probably, if I'm looking for the most likely outcome, I'd bet on Kucherov, but you're probably getting better value on Stamkos.
Yeah, I mean, he's played in 19 games this postseason. He has 9 goals in 19 games. So it is kind of like a toss-up 50-50 at this point. So why not sprinkle it a little bit? But I just think this is going to be a complete low-scoring game. So we'll see what happens there. And I also have one more bet, which is my best bet of the day. So we'll get to that in 1 second. But before we do, Zeno, Pickswise.com, what's our 3-star play of the day for today?
Oh, well, I actually had a 3-star play on the day yesterday on that NRFI, but I had with the New York Mets. So I finally got a baseball bet right.
Let's go.
All right. We have an NHL bet on the Pickswise.com website. I'm not going to tell you what it is because, well, it's going to upset my co-host and dear friend and, partner, Lauren Jabara. So I won't tell you what it is, but you guys can go to the Pickswise.com website and go look at it. Do you know what the bet is, Lauren?
Okay. I'm assuming that I know what it is now that you told me that I'd be upset. So it's okay. Okay. So this is the bet that I feel the absolute best about today. And I am like riding this hard. I'm actually thinking about putting 2 full units on it just because I feel that confident in it. Darcy Kemper under 27.5 saves. And you're only laying 20 cents for it. Like, you're not paying that much money. Last game, he had a 16 save performance. That is 11.5 saves less than his total. The game before that, the Tampa Bay Lightning only had 23 shots on goal, and Darcy Kemper made 20 saves. That is 7.5 saves under the total number. Tampa Bay is struggling right now to get shot attempts, let alone just shots on net. The Lightning had basically 0 ozone time on Saturday. They were stood up at the blue line. Kemper doesn't see a lot of shots here with the amount of time that the Avs have the puck in their offensive zone. The Avs are undefeated on the road at this point in playoffs. They also allow the fewest shots on net at 28 shots per game. So the total is a half shot over what they're usually allowing. And the fact that they've been able to shut down Tampa Bay offensively the first 2 games make me feel even more confident in this. If Tampa wants to win this game, it's not going to be from dominating offensively. They're going to have to slow it down, and that plays well here to the total. So I like Darcy Kemper under 27.5 saves at minus 120. That is my best bet of the day. And Zeno, I know you like it too because you logged in and you said I like your best bet of the day.
I do. I mean, look, if Tampa Bay has, let's just call 28 shots at this point. Forget 28 saves from Kemper. If Tampa has 28 shots, that is a fairly surprising, let me rephrase that. That's an outcome that they absolutely would need to be able to have the formula to win this game. They're going to need probably 30 shots at least to be able to score 3 goals in this game. So the math all works out, which is why I really kind of like where your head is. And if they have yet to get 10 shots in a period, in any period in this series. So the under just works out. All the math is in your favor, and it's a really, really smart play.
Thank you, Zeno. Okay, you're on a NRFI for your play of the day. Little juicy, but I can back this.
Yeah, I mean, just the little engine that could, the little NRFI engine that could, will not give up on this until I get one right and then go find another bet. I've lost 3 in a row, full disclosure, folks. So tread with caution here, and also tread with the juice, because my play of the day is the Yankees and Rays NRFI, and it is -160. Wow. Why is it -160? Because Garrett Cole and Shane McClanahan are on the mound. Garrett Cole's numbers this year, ERA-wise, are not what we're used to seeing. He's over 3, but his whip is just 1.2. And Shane McClanahan has got a 1.73 ERA and a whip of .086. He's been phenomenal. He's tied for the Major League lead in wins with 7. The Yankees are a team that does not allow their opponents to score in the first inning. And although the Yankees score a lot in the first inning, they've typically struggled in Tampa Bay to score runs, where the best pitcher in the game right now is going for Tampa Bay. So I'm getting 2 high-level starters, 2 high strikeout pitchers who don't walk a lot of batters. They'll get through the first inning unscathed and finally cash us a winner.
I like it, Zeno. No runs first inning and Darcy Kemper under 27.5 saves are 2 best bets of the day. And with that, my friend, that is it for us here on Let's Bet It Today. We'll be back tomorrow breaking down Game 3 of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, breaking down our baseball bets. So make sure to tune in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back tomorrow, 24 hours from now. I'm just talking. I'm rambling. Zeno, have a great day. Happy Monday, guys. Let's get it. Let's bet it.